Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me once again for Dishing with Diamonds. I am Rainey Anderson, and I just absolutely love this series. But before we get started, of course, you guys, I have to remind you that we are not making any financial claims, nor are we making any health claims. We're simply sharing our journey with Plexus Worldwide. And now I have the privilege of introducing Rebekah Fowlkes. Y'all, she's a diamond with our company. Literally, when I say all things amazing, she is one of the people that pop in my head. She's a great wife, mom, daughter, friend, sister, and she represents our company so well. Truly a leader amongst leaders. So Rebekah, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
Oh, I'm so excited. So excited to be here, to get to hang with you, and excited.
Yay. Well, you're precious to me. You and I have been able to have many offline conversations, and every single time, I just connect with you a little bit more. And so I want to thank you for just who you are in our company and just being that light for so many people.
That's so nice. Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
So, okay, we're going to get started. We've got some questions that we get to roll through with Dishing with Diamonds. And the first one that I have for you is simply to just describe your life before Plexus.
Okay. So my life before Plexus, I grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock's not a small town, but our community was small. Same church, same small private school. So it kind of felt small, and I loved that. I loved high school. Went to the University of Arkansas, and there I met and got married and started having babies at 21. So my junior year of college, actually. So had a baby at 21, 22, and 24. So I had 3 under 3. But that's all I ever wanted. Like, I always just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And I was always kind of doing little things to try to help earn money, whether it was selling some stuff on Etsy or writing for local publications, little magazines, or I did another network marketing company for a few years. And I was just always kind of dabbling, trying to do little things, but keep my heart at home. And I just really saw value in that. And I loved being a homemaker and taking care of my house and taking care of my kids. And so, then like 6-7 years in, my husband got a job to move to Pennsylvania. And when we were there, this is Arkansas to Pennsylvania. So that was quite a culture shock. It was a really small town. I used to tell people, I love small towns, but that wasn't my small town. So I was kind of the outsider, and we were with the oil and gas industry, which a lot of people in that small town did not like. And so that was kind of hard. And so for about a year, I was just at home, like one of those deals where you get dressed and ready to go on your one Walmart shopping trip a week. Like, that was it. And I started thinking, I want to do something. Like, I want friends and like a community here. And my mom was drinking Plexus from Elizabeth James. And I'd seen Suzanne Clinton, about the pink drink, but she'd done a few network marketing companies. And I was just kind of like, what is this? And then Elizabeth sent me a message about it. And I had also noticed that like Elizabeth's whole family, they were at the beach the week that she sent me the message. They were all like, had lost a lot of weight. And so I had even noticed, like, golly, I can see a difference in their whole family. And so when she messaged me, I thought, okay, my husband's job, like the salary had doubled. It wasn't really even a thing where I wanted to make extra money. I was looking for a community, and I thought, if I could make $500 a month, that I could just go get the fancy jeans instead of the Old Navy jeans or something, then I could get the boots that I wanted to get, not the other ones, the Target boots. Then that to me would feel like I had some extra blow money. And I had been looking through the years at other companies and compensation plans. But when I saw Plexus, I thought, oh, this one looks different and special. It's health and wellness. It was consumable product. I didn't have to keep all the inventory and make deliveries. And so I thought I could do that. And so I did.
I love that. And so, okay, this is what I'm totally hearing is that number one, you didn't necessarily quote, need the money, but you were looking for a sense of community. And so when, we talk about this as a team that, everybody joins Plexus for a different reason. And your reason was that community. And it was validated by one of your close friends, Elizabeth James, and then of course, Suzanne Clinton. And so you trust the people around you. And so you were in for those reasons.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I wanted a hobby. Like I wanted a hobby. Like I was looking for something to do and something to be a part of. But yes, like a community. So
I love that. Well, and hey, what about a hobby that pays money, right?
That's right. When I joined, it was July. And so every July we would come down for the whole month, the kids and I would, and stay with my parents and swim and go to the lake and all that. And I'd been talking to Elizabeth, but I ended up joining when I was home. And I remember I went back to Pennsylvania, and because of our weekly business builder bonus checks and my first commission check, I had several checks waiting on me when I got there, and it was like several $100s. And so I remember going, okay, like, wait a second. I didn't even really understand what it meant that I'd gone silver and all that when I got there, but I was just like, oh my gosh, this is already working. And I'd done network marketing before and had not seen a lot of success, kind of moderate success. And so that was validating too, that if you really start reaching out and talking to people, and that you're going to see fruit from your efforts. And so that was good.
Well, and I love that you just jumped in. You didn't necessarily completely understand the compensation plan. I connect with you on this because that was me. I remember getting my first check and almost feeling like, I know I talked to people, I know I signed people up, but is this legit? Like, is this, should I cash this check? Yeah. It seemed like a lot of money for not a ton of effort on my end, especially in the beginning. Now, once I got it, I was like, I'm in, I'm doing this, I get this now. So, okay, so we know Elizabeth. My next question is, how did you get introduced to Plexus? So we know Elizabeth introduced you. Is there anything else that you feel like you want to add?
I was just seeing it on social media. Okay. Like I was seeing, I was in Pennsylvania, but I had, I was from Little Rock, so I had such a network in Arkansas. And so I would see people talking about it. And then again, my mom was a customer. And so she was telling me, Rebekah, you should think about this. Like she was kind of even prompting me to do it. And I think one of the questions that you sent me was, what's your like go-to book or something like that? And I kept thinking about that and thinking about that. And like, as cliche as it sounds, I say all the time, just do it. Like the Nike, just do it. Because if you sit there and you try to think about how you're going to do it and what your strategy is and what all you're going to say and the perfect conversations and the perfect opportunity meeting and the perfect, pitch to someone, you're never going to do it. It's like when people say, I'm going to wait and have a baby when I'm ready. You're never ready for that. Like it is complete, not that it's the same thing as having a baby, but if you try to like just overanalyze it and overthink it, just do it and figure it out as you go. Because those learning lessons that you get, just figuring it out and just jumping in with both feet, those are vital. And the worst thing that you're going to do is wait for that perfect moment when someone else has already come in and talked to the customer or talked to the potential ambassador, and you're going to say, I wish I would have just done it. Like, don't try to perfect it. Just go for it and let it be you. And if you say, you know what, I'm still trying to figure out this part of it, okay, be excited. People will see your excitement. They're going to be drawn in by that. Be bold, be unapologetic, and just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. I love it, and so that goes along with my motivational phrase, and I'm a big fan of Finding Nemo. And so I love Dory because I connect with her on so many levels. I am her on so many levels. But it is, I tell people initially just jump in and then just keep swimming. I guarantee you that if you stay in momentum, stay in activity, just keep swimming. Good things are going to happen. So I love your phrase, just do it. Just do it and just keep swimming, y'all. So, okay, so tell us about your business journey. So you signed up under Elizabeth, you go back to Pennsylvania, and then kind of walk us through your journey to Diamond.
Okay. So, well, I would be remiss to not say my first 3 months, I kind of backed up because I joined July 7th, and then August 7th, my father-in-law very unexpectedly passed away. And I was just devastated. I'd literally never had anyone close to me pass away. And I just couldn't post on social media for a minute about Plexus. And so I just kind of backed up from that. I still was reaching out to people, but I just wasn't pushing it because my heart was sad and my heart wasn't in it. So, but about October, I had been continuing to send out messages, and I started posting more, getting into it, and I feel like that kind of primed the pump for the big hit of our big season, that February, March, April, May. And Christy Hull joined my team in November, and I went gold in December. So that was about 6 months in. I went gold, and then the next month I went senior gold. Then I skipped a month. I went ruby, and then senior ruby. And then 13 months in, so I missed Hawaii by 1 month, and I went emerald in the next August. And so,
sorry, is this in 2014?
I joined in 2013, and I went emerald in 2014.
Okay, perfect.
And it was kind of funny because, like I was in Pennsylvania, and so much of my network was in Arkansas. And so I would call and I would talk to the people. I would get them signed up. And then Elizabeth James, if they were in Central Arkansas, would take them to Panera or Jason's Deli or something and sit down with them and kind of get them in that first one-on-one training session. And then it was all through Skype and Zoom and talking to people, because my Pennsylvania team, they in New York, that took me a lot longer because I didn't have the relationship. Now, that didn't stop me from pursuing people and getting out and trying to be a part of as many ways to connect with people as I could. And after about a year, people started jumping on and promoting. And so but it was a farming. I had to be willing to keep going, keep talking to people, even though I wasn't seeing, immediate fruit from that. And, okay, so then, but it was, now I'm like, that was really fast. That was really fast. And it felt like, though, when I finally got a few people that were as excited as I was. And so that's something that I always tell people when they first start. If you can get a little crew together and you all do it together, that is where I see explosions happen, because it validates what you're doing by having several people doing it. It makes you more brave and bold to go talk to people, because you've got kind of a little army behind you that's telling you you can do it. It's going to clap when you win and pick you up when you fall. And that's so important, whether it's one power partner, or if you can go get a little crew. That is so big. And so I saw that, be a really a big deal, and people that just were excited too. And so, so I went emerald in July, and then the next January I went sapphire, and then the next March I went diamond. So it was right under 2 years when I went diamond. But in between emerald to sapphire, my kids and I moved home from Pennsylvania. And so I was a single mom because I went through a divorce, and that was really sad and scary. And I remember, and then in a lot of ways, and I don't share this like on big stages or anything, but Plexus gave me the freedom to get out of a really bad situation that I'd been in for a really long time. But that I was so scared to think, how am I going to provide for my kids? And I just kept thinking, okay, if I can just keep them here a little bit longer, until I can figure out what to do. And I feel like God kept telling me, just wait. And he gave me Plexus. And please hear me. Like, if anyone ever I get a lot of messages because I went through a divorce while I was a jewel in Plexus about being a single mom or about going through a divorce. And if you've messaged me before, because I literally still get messages once or twice a week, I am so pro marriage and working things out. But I also know that there's situations that that you have to make hard decisions. And but Plexus, it just provided for me in a way that I felt like God came in and said, I'm going to take care of you. And he did, of me and the kids. And that brought in a whole new component to working my Plexus business, because there wasn't someone at night that was doing the bath time or, keeping the kids quiet, or me doing that. And so I had to be more strategic in, I couldn't be the homeroom mom, and I was able to still be a stay-at-home mom, which was amazing. And they went to school, but I couldn't be on the PTA, or, I missed some baseball practices, and I would sometimes be sitting in my car doing stuff when they were playing at the park and stuff like that. But I remember like literally feeling like I was burning the candle at both ends, up till 11 doing Zoom calls, up at 6 to fix all the lunches, and then going through a crazy time emotionally. But I could see what I was doing was worth it, and it held value. And so even though there were times where I didn't want to do it and I just wanted to go have a day in my bed and be sad, I got up and I went and did that. And you know what? That was rewarding. And that helped me to go through some of those hard days, because I was able to see a return on my efforts. I was able to focus on something that was good and not get down emotionally, but to be able to say, no, I'm going to show my family that I can take care of my kiddos and my family. And so, I'm super thankful for what Plexus has been able for me to do personally, and then to be able to see what it's been for my team. It's been the biggest, non-person blessing that I've had.
You and I have very similar paths, and I'm like you. I get messages about coming through a tough situation. And for me, I don't know if you can find any identity in this statement, but for me, going through the tough time and having Plexus, in a way, Plexus was like a therapy for me. It absolutely gave me something positive to focus on. I had this community around me rallying, anything I did, it was amazing. Right. And so it was just so nice to have such a positive influence in my life going through something so negative.
I agree.
So good. Okay. So we've talked about, tough times, and we know that we have those in business as well. So talk to me about how you stay motivated when things are challenging in Plexus.
That is a great question. And I don't care if you're someone that signed up a week ago or you're Celeste, you've had hard times in your business, things that, whether it's something that maybe you were pushing for, or that you were trying and it didn't work out, or someone that you were pursuing and then joined someone else's team, or someone that you really saw so much potential in and then they quit and went to another company, or just lulls in your business, and this is sales. And so sales 101 is going to be that it ebbs and it flows. You're going to have good months and you're going to have bad months. And sometimes those seasons roll longer than you want them to. But the cool thing is, if you are consistent and you continue to plant the seeds, you continue to water them, you continue to do the personal development, you're willing to evolve. If you're working and, you went to convention last year and you were a silver ambassador and you're coming back this year and you're like, I'm still going to be a silver ambassador. Be willing to go to your upline, to go to a friend, to go to a trusted source that's not going to bring you down and tell you this just isn't going to work for you, but someone that will breathe life into you, and say, here's what I'm doing. Where can I evolve? What can I what could I transition into a new part of my business that would help me? And be willing to make the hard decisions. So if your network is not responding, that doesn't mean this doesn't work for you. That means that's a hurdle, and you need to find ways to expand your network, and you need to get out there and find new people. Social media is amazing for that. There's so many different tools to expand your network on social media. And then things just in your community. Will be willing to go and do a CrossFit class at whatever time, or be willing to go and do the cooking class at Whole Foods, or be willing to do a class with one of your kids, or maybe you do join the PTA, or you join some kind of just group, and do it intentionally, not where you're going to go up there and the first day blow them all away with Plexus, but you're willing to develop the relationships, that you see the value that this could be your 4-year career, and that you're going to plant seeds to see fruit down the road. Because are you still going to be on Facebook in 4 years? Are you still going to be hanging out in your small town or doing life in 4 years? If so, you can work this in the nooks and the crannies and start planting those seeds and see fruit. So don't compare your journey to other people, which obviously is easy for me and Rainey to say, but don't do that, because we know this works. We know that these products work. We know this business works. We know network marketing works. And so if you're just seeing some extra hurdles, pull up your bootstraps. And if you really want it, and if you're really looking and saying, you know what, getting to Senior Ruby would change my family's financial trajectory for the rest of my life, or going to Diamond, whatever that goal is for you, if you invest, you keep swimming, you stay consistent, you're willing to evolve, you're going to be able to do this. It's just, so many people say, I want it, I'm going Diamond, I'm going to do this, and they're not willing to put in the day to day if they don't see the immediate fruit. And that's just, I mean, I know if you're listening to this, I'm sure you said to someone at some point in your life, if it was easy, everyone would do it. Whether it's going to the gym, whether it's having a great marriage, whether it's being a great parent, whether it's being successful in your business, we all know those little consistent things that you're doing every day, those are what matters. You don't just eat once a week or once a month. You have to eat multiple times a day to keep your body going. You have to go to the gym multiple times. You need to go to, talk to the Lord multiple times a week and multiple times a day to have that relationship and be filled with Him. You can't just do it here and there. And so being consistent and being willing to say, I'm going to fight for this, I'm going to keep swimming, that's where you're going to see the big return down the road. And be willing to wait for it, because it is good and it is worth it. It's so worth it.
And I absolutely feel the brilliant statement there is be willing to evolve. I mean, how many times do we hear, I want this, and I need this, but yet that key statement is so profound, and there's just true wisdom in that, is to be willing to evolve. It's huge. I mean, this is very much, as much a part of changing people's lives is also about changing your life and your personal development. And so I completely agree with that statement. And
so I'm working on a big training about evolving for another project. And something that I talk about in there is my team had to evolve for every rank that I went up. My business, new people were brought in by me, not by my downline, that I see as key players for every rank that I went up. So I went silver, but then Christy Hull joined my team and I went gold. And obviously Christy's my diamond strongest leg, and she was with me and helped me evolve through all the ranks. But I can see my key players that came in to get me to each and every rank. And so it's not that I went silver and thought, okay, now it's on my team, they need to get new people here. No, like as diamonds, Rainey and I are actively recruiting all the time. And I mean, I literally the last few months have told myself that I want to be in the mindset that I'm a silver ambassador, that I do not have the diamond team, and that I am working to go diamond because I have a reentry leg and I am working to go diamond on that leg. And you know what? It has been a year and I am not gold on that leg. So I just want you to know that it sometimes, like, your network changes, things are harder. And as a diamond that can go in there and say, listen, this works, I make baller money, let me show you how to do this, it can be harder. And so, but does that mean that I just turn off my reentry account? No, I'm keeping going with that. And I'm actively adding people to that every month. And sometimes I have a month where no one joins that team, and that's okay. But I still go back the next month. I still have my Frank's list. I still have my chicken list where I'm developing those seeds. But it's being willing to say, this is on me. It starts with you. You've got to be the one. I tell people all the time, you are the standard bearer for your team, and everyone else is going to be a little bit diluted version of you. So you have to be the one that's working the hardest, that's adding new people, that's posting the most, that's posting most strategically, and all the things that you're preaching to your team. You have to do that because they're watching. And if you don't have a team yet, they're going to be watching. So you set that stage and that standard for them.
Gorgeous. So let's talk about words are gorgeous. Okay, so let's talk about some business tips. At this point, I don't even know if this is a fair question because you have really poured into this team already. But do you have ones that we haven't covered at this point that you'd like to share?
Well, I wrote down 3, and my first one was be willing to evolve. So
perfect.
Covered that one. 2 would be to stay in activity, which was kind of just what I was just talking about, and just the consistency, and decide what is your non-negotiable IPA every day. And everyone has 15 minutes that you can pour into this. I really think you could find an hour, whether you are getting up an hour early, you're staying up an hour later, or you're chopping that hour up into 4 15-minute blocks. I think you can find it. And I think if you're really serious about moving your business to the next level, you need to be at least devoting a power hour to your business every day. And at least half of that needs to be just working on your business, reaching out, following up, checking in, expanding your network, cold messaging, doing all those things to help your personal business. And the other 30 minutes can be pouring into your team, checking in with, people there, posting on your team page, things like that. But at least half of that needs to be just on your business. So but be staying in activity every single day. And you can decide what are those things that you have to do every day. And then, have it somewhere in your phone, somewhere on your desk where, I'm doing this every day. And I'll just say, something about being a stay-at-home mom, it's a little bit harder. You'd think you got all this extra time. And so you should be able to just spend so much time on your Plexus business. But I've found that it's the hardest for stay-at-home moms to start incorporating this into your life, because our schedule is like, when are these kids hungry and who's taking a nap today? But it's triage, right? Is the dishwasher need to be unloaded? Did the laundry bell just ring? Do I need to go pick up a kid from school? Like, who's crying? Who's throwing up? Have I had a shower in the last 4 days? Whatever it is. And so that's hard, but come up with a schedule, be organized, and be devoted to your Plexus business. I say all the time, I look for the busy people to recruit because they are so good at having a schedule, getting things done. They know how to be really creative with their time. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, then decide you're willing to put this in there and have a time. Whether, like Carrie Wilkerson says, have that talk with your shareholders and say, listen, from, during nap time or when the little kids are laying down for naps, the big kids, y'all are going to watch Paw Patrol and I'm going to work my business, or there's that time of night or that time in the morning, whatever it is, you do that and stick to the daily activity. You have to. And then my last one would to be unapologetic about what you're doing. To see your goal and to be bold and unapologetic, like, no, I'm doing this for my family, and be excited about it. Don't make excuses for it. Don't, well, I know I'm still doing this Plexus thing and I don't know if it's going to work out, or no, you go in there and be confident in your decision. Sometimes people say, oh, what are people going to think when I do XYZ? And I'm like, number one, it doesn't matter. Number two, just be bold. Like if you're saying, oh, we're doing this now, then just say it with excitement and confidence. And you know what? People don't argue with that. And if they do, just dismiss it. Just decide right then, I'm not going to let that offend me. Don't. And part of that is pouring in personal development, finding a power partner, staying locked into your team page where you're scrolling it, whether it's Rainey's page or an Upline's page or a Sidelines page where good content's coming on there. Watch Diamond documentaries, listen to those calls by Sheila Medina, the opportunity calls where they've got all the testimonies. Do things that build your belief. If you've got people around you that don't think you need to keep doing what you're doing, then you find pockets of time to put good words in your life, good words in your brain over what this business can do for other people. Think about, write down, what has it done for you so far? What are your goals? And check in with those. But be unapologetic about what you're doing, because otherwise, who wants to join someone that's like, it was a car salesman that said, I don't really know. I mean, I think it works. Like, some people can drive it on the interstate. Well, you'd be like, no, I don't want that car. No. So be excited. Find the things that you're the most. When I did Arbonne, another network marketing company years ago, I always sold the top 5 products that I told them. I would always say, here's my 5 faves. One was an eyeliner, one was an eye cream, whatever. One was a concealer. Those all sold every night because I was the most excited about those 5 things. Find the few things that you are the most excited about Plexus about, whether it's the business, whether it's just something fun in Plexus that you love, whether it's a product, and be really passionate about those few things. And then if someone asks you about the ease capsules and you're not sure about that, say, you know what, I haven't really taken those yet. I've heard a lot of great testimonies. Let me get back to you. That's okay. People are not going to be totally done with you because you don't know every ingredient and every detail. I am not a product guru. I'm not. I still look at my product cards all the time. I have a printout of things I look at about the products. My brain just does not retain the the supplement vitamin information that we have. And but I can still do this. I still have a really successful team. Find what matters to you. Find what's exciting to you and fun to you and energizing to you, and bring that into your business and be willing to share it unapologetically. So be willing to evolve, stay in activity, and be unapologetic.
I love that unapologetic. I don't know that we've heard that one before. And I remember, starting this business, it's a muscle that you exercise. And some of us, that muscle is stronger going in. So my unapologetic muscle was already built up because I had this little girl that was depending on me to put food on the table and keep a roof over her head. And so for me, it was, nobody else is paying my bills. And so this is the route that I've chosen to get that done. Oh, and it's a beautiful route because I get to change people's lives. I get to, make them healthier. I get to change their financial future. But so many times I hear that block or that excuse of, what are people going to think of me? I might get unfriended. And I'm like, loves, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this is about you changing lives. And so, yes, I love that wording, be unapologetic, be excited. I don't know about you guys, but I'm super on fire right now because of Rebekah's passion for the way that she's unapologetic for, her excitement for Plexus. And she's absolutely right. Find a product, build your business on a product, be an expert in that one product. I guarantee you that your audience is going to love that product, and guess what? They're going to want to know what else you have. So, okay.
On that, there's this one quote that I share all the time on my team page, and it says, "You can be the juiciest peach in the whole world, and someone is going to not like peaches." So, if they don't like something about you because of Plexus, they're going to find something else, because there's always something that people are not going to like about you. But this is something that can better your life and other people. So you're going to draw in people that you don't even know yet and be able to bless them just because someone was annoyed that you were posting about a probiotic on Facebook. Like, if someone is going to be that critical of you, that's not someone that you want in your life. You want cheerleaders. You want people that say, hey, I see something great in you and I am proud of what you're doing. Those are the real life friends, not the social media friends, not the people that just want the highlight reel or that are putting their fake life on Facebook.
Right.
No, you want the real life. And so, and also just another little tidbit, and I told my team this the other day, I don't know why I just thought of this, but my very best friends, no one does Plexus. No one. Like, all my people that are on my Plexus team, I was never super good friends with them. It has all been people outside my hot market, you know? And I'm an over poster on social media. I always have been. I post all kinds about my family, my friends, life, silly quotes, whatever, all the time. And I can see on Instagram, you know, where I'm looking through my feed and I can, or on my, like, you know, people that have liked my stuff, and I'll see, like, a best friend has liked 6 pictures of mine in a row. But what do? They skip over all the Plexus ones. They love all my stuff, but they won't just hit the heart to say that they like my Plexus post, you know? And I think about that all the time because I like all my other network marketing friends' posts. I don't care what company you're in. I'm just supportive of you and what you're doing, and I buy product from them and I cheer them on. But there's something, I mean, I'm like, do you think you're going to catch it if you like my post? Like, what's wrong? Don't worry about that. Like, even as a diamond, my friends that love me and cheer me on, that buy products from me even, will not like the dang Plexus post. So don't think about that. And the more that you put it out there, people will keep watching you if you're consistent. I've had people that join my team that I went to college with. I've been Facebook friends with them for 12 years. And just now they want to join my team. Just now they want to try the product because they've been watching and watching and watching 3.5 years in. Mm-hmm. So be consistent. People will come around. They might not comment, but they're going to send you a message and say, okay, tell me about that triplex. I really think I need to do something. Don't be scared. Don't let just the fear hold you back. Don't. You can do this. Other people have. You can too. You can too.
Absolutely. Oh, I just love you. Okay, so let's talk about your team in level 1. So, you know, I don't know if you're like me in this way. I'm not a real numbers person, and so my numbers are, I always say ish, you know, around-ish. So about... Do what?
I'm an ish kind of girl. I live in a world of gray.
Me too. That's so me. And what's funny is my husband's incredibly detailed. So how that works is, you know, a mystery.
That's right. Yeah.
So about how many level 1s have you personally sponsored in your 3.5 years?
There was a part of, I love Sarah Robbins' How to Rock Your Network Marketing Business. I just think it's tangible. It's easy to read. It gets me excited every time. It's just little nuggets that I love. I always have it on my desk. And there's a little part in one of the first couple chapters, and she talks about this. And so I do know my numbers. Yes, because I think about this all the time. I've personally sponsored about 125 people. Okay. And from there, about 25 are still working the business. Mm-hmm. And out of those 25, I have about 6 that are running. And a couple of those, a couple of those are like gold and senior gold. So, but they are working their businesses. Yep. So a small percentage actually work it and get me to, you know, a big diamond team. But so you don't need an army. You just need a handful. You just need to find a little tribe that wants to do this with you. It's just, you have to talk to a lot to get to a few and be willing to talk to a lot. I mean, I literally think 1,000 people have told me no. I bet, at least, because when I went to my 10-year reunion, my little class of 125 people, I was like, yeah, okay, I've talked to all of you. I have asked all of you to join my team. Now, beep, 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 beep. I was showing up in my Plexus Lexus, and I was a diamond, and it was worth it to me. And people were coming up to me like, wow, you are really killing it with Plexus. But out of all those people there, and some of them had joined me, but I'm willing to go and talk to people, and not to just copy and paste messages, but to go to people and say, hey, let me tell you why this business would be so great for you, you know, and be willing to do that. Be willing to reach out, to not just impulsively shoot them a copy and pasted message that doesn't mean anything to them, but be willing to build belief into them and say, hey, Rainey, I have got to tell you why I think this could be amazing for you, and be willing to be unapologetic and to do that, and excited, and use exclamation points and emojis, like to be excited.
And speak from your heart. I mean, that's what I'm hearing you say, is that, you know, in that excitement, in that personal conversation, you're speaking from your heart. You're saying why why I see this being a value for you. And it's not a canned message that you're just, like you said, copying and pasting. Okay, so what is a lesson or lessons you've learned along the way in your journey to Diamond?
That is a good one. I think just as far as being, okay, I'm always someone that's like teetering on the balance tether, the tightrope, but be willing to evolve, you know, but at the same time, be willing to keep doing what works for you. Like anytime that you hear stuff, be thinking, okay, that's a way to do this. There's no right way. There's some things, I see different diamonds posting things that I could never post, that I could never build my business just like that, you know? But go find the people that you like and relate to and things that make you laugh or make you lean in to hear more, and work that into something that works for you. And if you start going, okay, now I'm a year in and I'm not yet silver, well, then you might need to go, okay, so maybe some of my methods are not working. I'm going to keep my goal, but I need to kind of adjust my methods here. But if you're doing something and you think, you know what? Now, as long as it's ethical and a sound business, you know, I mean, not if your team's going or, you know, your upline's saying, you cannot do that, or well, it works. And they say, well, that's not good. Well, then, you know, you're that. But at the same time, there's just been things over time where people said, okay, you need to do this. And how many times a month do you do this for your team? And I'm like, oh, I've never done that. You know, like I don't like big 90-day challenges, big 90-day things. I like flash contests for my team, flash sales, flash goal setting, incentives, that kind of thing. Because if I try to get in a 90-day deal or a big long book club or something, I'm not a marathoner. Like I'm not great at that. So I know what's going to work for me and what's going to enter. And then I partner, you know, Christy Hull, Timmy Yancey, Elizabeth James. We all four have very different personalities. We're all different colors. We think differently, all that. And so that has been so great to partner with them because they can lead in different ways and I can bounce ideas off of them that are different than how I think and feel. But I also know what my strengths are and what these are going to work for, you know, which parts of me. And be secure in that and be willing to say, I mean, I'll be honest, I can't post about poop on Facebook. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like all the BioCleanse, I can't do that. And then I see the funny posts people are making and I'm like, I'm sure people need to know that, but I just can't. Like, I cannot do that. And so I can't do it. But I know other people can and do. And obviously they have lots of, oh, look at that cute puppy. So anyway, I would just say the lessons that I've learned is I don't need to try to be someone else. Like if I tried to post things that Chris and Susie McCall post and move all my furniture outside with signs, you know, shop here for Plexus, my neighbors will call the cops. You know, I can die laughing at that and think that's so fun and funny, but I can't be them. Same thing with Christy Hull. And I shared this at the Silver Ambassador training last year at convention. If I tried to be really inspirational, like she can post the most darling, inspirational, motivational things on Facebook and get, you know, 250 likes. And if I post something cheesy and inspirational, my network, I mean, I would get 6 likes. Like they would be like, Rebekah, no, because they know that's not me. Like so be you and be willing to be you. Like your friends, they're friends with you on social media and in real life because it's you. Another thing I would say is practice saying, I used to tell people that we were writing English papers, if you wouldn't say it out loud, don't put it on Facebook. If it's not going to come out in your voice and your tone and feel natural, then don't post it. And if you've got a point, okay, but find a way that's going to feel authentic and genuine to you, because people are going to say, that's not Rainey. I know her. That's not That's not her. So find a way to deliver that to your network, your market, your audience that is relative to who you are. And I feel like people will say, now, not that you can't, be bettering yourself and your health or your whatever it is, but just make sure that deep down it feels like something you would actually say around a table of your girlfriends.
Well, that is so perfect, because I see so many times people who, their strength is the party, let's say, right? Like they are great at gathering people together and maybe, not so much about imparting, how can I say this, wisdom or advice, but where people really connect with them is in the fun, right? And so be that person,
That person.
And that's okay, because like you said, you can partner with other people that can do more of the serious wisdom or what have you, because that would be like me trying to be the party. I'm not that person, like I love to have fun. I love
fun, Rainey.
But like at the end of the day, I'm a great gatherer, but I'm not the party. Does that make sense? So for me to try to be that center of attention and all of a sudden become the comedian, it's going to fall flat. Yeah. And so I love that advice. Be you. It is simple advice in the way that, but it's so full of, like, it's worth its weight in gold, because so many times I think we get away from just being ourselves. And God intended us to be a perfect image of what He created. And when we stray from that, it's almost like we're straying from Him.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to feel good either. Like you're going to feel like you're striving to be something you're not.
Absolutely. Yeah. Square pegging a round hole. That's a statement for a reason, right? Yeah. So last question, fun question. What is a splurge that that Plexus has allowed you since becoming a doctor?
I died laughing when I saw this, and I'm sure my husband would too, because I'm a splurger. I'm like, oh, which one? But I think, there have been so many, but I mean, two are coming to mind. I love that I can impulsively decide to go on a trip, or just like this year, I think there's 4 or 5 like big trips that I'm getting to go. My sister just the other day was like, hey, let's go to Mexico for my 30th birthday. And it's the month before Hawaii. It's the month after we go to the beach. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. Okay, actually, I'll think of the one, and maybe it'll make you laugh, but this is probably my very favorite thing. We go to the lake, and in Arkansas, my favorite lake, there's lots of lakes in Arkansas, but one is Lake Ouachita, and it's a Corps-owned land, and so you can't build on the land. But I grew up going to the lake and all that. And so what people do is you get mobile homes to be on the back, to be kind of like, you can't be on the water, but behind it and everything. And so honestly, the fact that Eli found this trailer and he said we could go to the lake and get to be there, and it's so not nice. Like, it's so not nice. Like, I've been in nice trip. This is not a nice one. And that I got to go and just write a check for this really not, to me, my dream thing to get to go to the lake every weekend with my family, and us all be like in Eli's old bachelor pad furniture, and again, so not nice. But that's my favorite thing. We go every weekend. People always like, tell the lake house. I'm like, we have a place. We have a place at the lake. A place. And it's my favorite thing. So, I'm sure we got to buy a dream house this year. We've gotten to go on so many fun trips, do so many fun things. But I think that, and it being just seriously in the back of my mind since I was so little, as like just a dream to get to just decide to go to the lake and have somewhere to keep all your stuff there, and just so many memories there. It's probably that.
I love that. Well, and what I hear in all of that is freedom.
Yeah.
It's freedom.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. Thank you so much for sharing this precious time with us. You're amazing, and you imparted so much wisdom, and I thank you.
Love you, friend.
Love you so much. All right, girl, have a great day.
Okay, bye.
Bye.